So today my guest is Kylie Broadfoot. Kylie is a mindset coach for female entrepreneurs and business owners. She loves helping people to live a life they love doing what they love. She does this by assisting people to work less, scale, and leverage their business so that it can support the lifestyle they desire. Outside of her business, Kylie has a son and daughter, aged 13 and 11, is married to Stuart, an Englishman she met while traveling in Thailand. Exciting. And is also a slave to their 5-year-old black lab, who's always either hungry or looking for love. Hi, Kylie.
Hi, Kate. Good to be here.
Yeah, thanks so much for being here. It's wonderful. We met on Instagram, I think, we were introduced by Holly. So
We were.
Holly. And I found what you do so interesting, and I think people need to hear about what you do. So I've just got my dog and cat are fighting in the corner, of course.
Mine will probably make an appearance at a dawn sooner or later.
I haven't seen them all morning. So, yeah, it's so much fun. So, where did you start?
So I've got an occupational therapy background. So I did my bachelor's degree back in the day. And I guess I was someone that didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. It wasn't something I'd always wanted to do or anything like that. I'd always wanted to help people as a broad generic kind of thing. And so allied health seemed a good way to do that. And when I started studying OT, we'll call it for short, I found that it was really broad, and I quickly learned that I loved the neurological side of it. So I loved learning about neuropsychology. It was one of my favorite lectures and subjects. I loved working out how the brain works, and all that thinking, the cognitive side of it was really fascinating to me. And so I went down that path. So working with people with neurological conditions. So I worked at the MS Society, as it was back then, for a few years. Went into vocational rehabilitation for people with brain injuries, mostly acquired brain injuries, who had a great work history and had always, they were unusual in, I guess, the whole Centrelink system, because they had worked really hard and found it really difficult to not be working, and assisted them to get back to work, either doing the same job or a different job, and helping them to work out how to adjust if they weren't, if they had memory problems or other ways that were impacting on their work. Did some work in London for a while, doing community neuro rehab in southeast London, in quite a disadvantaged area, which was a real eye opener.
Yeah,
it was like being in an episode of The Bill, going into those tower blocks.
Oh my gosh. You've lived an exciting life, gee.
There were some very exciting times, sort of.
Hey, wow.
In a challenging way. And then came back, did some more vocational rehab with in a generic sort of space, not just brain injuries, and some work at the NDIA, the National Disability Insurance Agency, for the scheme. And so lots of different things. That's where I started, and really just passionate about helping people to to set goals, to experience what they wanted to experience, and learning kind of what was different for people who might have had the same condition or the same experience or the same kind of brain injury, but one would respond differently, quite differently to the other.
Yeah, and we're also different. And actually today is International People with Disabilities Day.
It is.
And and I've just been watching some short films on disability, and I hate the word disability because they seem more able than we are, who are labelled able. And so you must have done some amazing work doing that and getting so much knowledge from that.
Yeah, and I think it was just a good reminder. Well, I guess it really opened my eyes to the fact that everything, I used to run, and I remember when I would run, I would think I won't always be able to run. like, I need to be grateful for this now, even
Oh,
when I was
wow.
slogging along and thinking,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be one of those people that just waits for retirement. And I know everyone doesn't have choices, they don't have the same opportunities or privileges and things like that. But, I'd worked with a couple at the MS Society, and quite soon into their retirement, they had beautiful plans to travel around Australia, and then found that they couldn't. And that's what they'd really waited their whole lives to do, and were no longer going to be able to do that. And I suppose even from right back then, it was I was really aware that it's important to live life for now, not for an indeterminate point in the future that may or may not happen. Like, we've got today, let's do something today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because that's what I really believe in, like, really be grateful for what you have, and, work at what you have and the level you're at as well.
And I think that doesn't mean we don't need to connect with how we're feeling, or that we don't have bad times or hard challenges and all of that. So I'm a big, and I know you would be too, not kind of bypassing all of that, but still being grateful for what we have while being present for what's going on for us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I always think about, who was it? George Bernard Shaw saying, youth is wasted on the young. And I think it really is, because when you get into your 60s and 70s, like the end of, life sort of thing, like I am, it's like, I wish I appreciated my youth more. Like, I could do so much more and connect so much more, and, run and jump easily without pain and things like that, and run for kilometers and kilometers. But it's like, I really feel that we need to teach our young people to appreciate their lives, because, it's, yeah.
And I think part of that is par for the course, but also now they're starting to learn, schools thankfully are teaching them about gratitude and incorporating those sort of things. And we certainly do it as a practice home as well, even if they roll their eyes at me sometimes.
I know.
But it makes them stop and think what they are grateful for.
Yeah, that's right. And they'll realise later in life that, oh, gee, mum was right, and I've got to teach my children that. And
yeah.
So then you came back to Australia. Did you go straight to, when did you come back to Australia?
I came back to Australia when I was pregnant with my first child, with my son James, and so left London, came back to Australia, and I didn't really start work then because it was just all a bit tricky, and so then I had a year off with James once he was born, and then went back to work part-time, doing that sort of general vocational rehab, helping people get back to work kind of stuff. And then then I realized, actually I'd looked at coaching for a long time and not been very brave in terms of making big decisions and thinking, I could change career, and it seemed all a bit risky, and I was pretty risk averse, and so I finally in 2015 I decided, do you know what, I'm just going to find out, because just sitting around thinking about it and checking it out, every 6 to 12 months isn't really progressing anything. And I would just really like to see if it's for me or not. And I really liked that they did neuro-linguistic programming, which is, one of the modalities that we can learn as coaches to really help people to transform in different ways. So it was kind of appealing to that neuro side of me that I had enjoyed in my career. And so I just bit the bullet and embarked on studying, and spent lots and lots of hours studying. And at the time I was commuting down to Geelong, about an hour away. So I would listen to things on the way down and the way back, and do my part-time job, and then be coached myself as well, realizing that actually, if I would like to be a coach and, run workshops and get up in front of people, that my horrendous fear of public speaking and my even worse fear of networking probably wasn't going to be such a winner to run my own business.
No.
Never having dreamt of running my own business in the past.
Yeah.
So I decided I really need to work, and having sort of high level anxiety, being no one would know, and I was great at my job, and it wasn't, no one would really realize, but I had a lot of things that I needed to work on for myself.
Yeah.
So learning to be a coach, being coached myself, and then thinking to myself, why did I wait so long to do this? Now I've got 2 young kids, and I'm just points away.
That's right. So from being risk averse to being this amazing coach that you are, and like helping women, especially, that it's a really important job, helping women see their own superstardom. I feel that I used to be extremely shy and didn't like to talk to people, and have moved through that, but I know what it's like to start out in your business and going, I don't even know where to start. Like, okay, I'll get a business name, I'll get an ABN, and then what? Okay, I need clients, and now what? Go to Kylie.
Yeah, and people tend to come to me once they have been in business for a little while. They kind of worked out that early part of social media and selling, and getting some clients on the books and things like that, but realizing quite quickly that actually I don't have any more time left. I am pretty exhausted. I am very depleted, and it's all the signs of, pointing to burnout, really, which they've either done before and are quite keen to avoid, or they can see that's where they're heading, whether they call it that or not. But, I think as women, we can be quite strongly conditioned to be selfless and not focus on ourselves, and not, feel guilty about having time out. And so, the clients, when they come to me, usually are having no time for themselves, just none, and just are busy working in the business, working at home, giving to everyone else, and then they end up resenting the business that they loved, because at some level, because it's not really giving them what they went into the business for: the freedom, the choices, the flexibility, the being able to go to something at the school when we had such things, or knocking off early on a Friday, or, they find themselves working more and more and more, and thinking and almost resisting opportunities at some level, because, well, that might mean more work and I've got nothing left to give. So I'm not going to take on that and that and that. I just love helping them to work out it's not about trying to squeeze even more into your life and your days, because actually that's not really possible if you still want to sleep. That actually a lot of it is stripping away things and reducing that mental chatter, the actual tasks that people have, because a lot of the time they're doing things they don't actually love doing either, but they have felt compelled at some level to say yes to taking it on.
Yes.
And so getting really super clear on, what do I want my business to be like? What do I want to offer? Who do I love working with? Who do I not? Because, when we run our own business, we should have those choices. We do, whether we make the most of them or not. And we can, we're not, like in my day, I had to work with everyone on my caseload, and whether it lit me up to work with them or not, I had to see them. Now I only work with people that I think are a really good match, because they're the ones that will get the results. And I don't want to take someone's money who is not a good fit and is not going to get the results, because that's not good for them. That's not good for me. It's not good for the greater good. So I think helping people to realize, actually, you get to choose the work week you want. You get to choose what you offer in business. You get to work out what's going to energize and rejuvenate you instead of depleting you. And then love your life, love your business, love your clients, love having time away from the business, and it does wonders for every other area of life.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what I'm finding out now. Like I should be retiring, and I've been in business for 21 years now, and it's like
Amazing.
yeah, but and I haven't loved it as much as I have the last 2 years. So it's brought me great joy and time, and family time, and doing what I love doing. So, and I hear that that's what you're doing for your clients as well. And it's just so amazing. I wish I knew what I know now, 20 years ago, because my life would be so different, so different. So,
Yeah.
So how do you work one-on-one or with groups, or what do you do?
Yeah, so I've got a range of ways that I work with people. I do one-to-one coaching and mentoring with people, and I suppose that's more of a deep dive, and it's very much obviously catered to the individual and exactly what they need and their business and their belief system and their, all these things that we work together to shift, those old stories that go around in our head about putting our prices up or putting a new program out into the world, or we all have these things hand up, me too, that come up when we offer something new, or we consider charging a certain rate or whatever it is. And that's really normal, but it's also often just something that we're telling ourselves. And so a coach really helps us to identify that and to challenge that in a kind way, or in an honest way, I suppose, and help to shift that so people can achieve what they want to within the business and not be stuck within their stories. Then I've been doing Expand, which is a group coaching program, and I'll be moving that to a membership program for next year, which will be for anyone. It doesn't have to be business owners, but people that want to expand in any area of their life, and to really, to experience even more joy or happiness or health or, financial success, or, all the different things. And then I've got a workshop coming up in the new year, which will be around help. It's more for business owners, so helping them to set an intention and really to manifest what they want to moving into the new year if they're wanting to offer something new in business. And I've got a retreat. I'm offering a retreat again in March. So
again,
I did one in February 2020, and if you remember February 2020 in Victoria, that was before all the madness. So I couldn't really run one again after that, and it hasn't felt like the right time to look at that. But I'm running that on the 22nd of March next year. So down on the Surf Coast in Victoria, which is near the Great Ocean Road.
I didn't even know that was called the Surf Coast. I thought that's interesting. Because it is. It's all surf. It's beautiful down there. So how many people at the retreat?
So that'll be for 6 people, and all business owners and people that really want to, I guess, what I was talking about, learn how to bypass burnout, scale and leverage their business. So they're busy, but just don't know how to put anything else into the mix and how to get to that next level in business. So finding that they've kind of, I guess there's that resistance to doing anything different because they got all the plates spinning, and well, how do I shift that? How do I claw back some time when I don't have any? So really helping them to do that. And it's in the most beautiful sort of luxury surroundings. We're having our own private chef who I used last time, who's amazing. So it's a real sort of decadent, beautiful retreat that is also an opportunity to deep dive, step away from the business, invest that into yourself, which, most women in business have not had the opportunity to do for the last 2 years. And I think, they'll really see the benefits quite quickly from that.
So how many days is that? Is the retreat?
It's 2 nights. So it's from Tuesday the 22nd to Thursday the 20th.
Wow. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Wow.
Yeah, I'm really excited to run it.
It's so beautiful.
There's something beautiful, I think, with that sort of immersive experience and being away from all the usual things. And as well as being around like-minded women. You know, I just say a little bit of magic happens on retreat, because it just, you bring people together and it really just elevates. You know, we just get more ideas. We realize something that we might not have just by ourselves, or even with a coach. Sometimes it's a different level of conversation.
It is. Yeah. I love retreats because you get so many different people with different ideas, different outlooks, different views from different family environments as well. So, you know, you might have had your husband saying, oh, you've spent so much money already, you know, this had better work. And it's like, you know, you're investing in your business. So, you know, and you just learn so much from being immersed in everything.
And I think it's for the people that are going to take action, because if you take action, if you learn and then you implement, really you make money back quite quickly. I think that just happens if you do the work. And I know it's a bit of a cliche for coaches, but you do need to do the work, because it just doesn't miraculously appear. But you know, I think it just does happen. And the other thing I just wanted to mention, just stepping away from the retreat, is I do a not networking event, which is like my kind of entry level thing for people to just come and see what it is that I do and who I am, and connect with other women in business again. But that's just a monthly thing that'll be kicking off in February for an hour and a half on Zoom. And so that can be people from anywhere. So if you've got people following from Sydney and whatnot, it was a face-to-face thing that I did each month down here, but I'm moving online just so that anybody can come, and it's, you know, it's like $37, so it's really affordable. And come to, people love that they can connect with others and feel that real sense of community, that energy, that they call it self-care. They call it, this is time for me, when they step away from the business and come and take time for themselves. And we focus on a different topic each month, and there's a Facebook group to support them. So that's a nice way to get a taster.
I love that it's called the Not Networking group. You're actually networking.
It's inevitable that you network, but we're not coming to network. So it's very much focused on connection, which I suppose is at the heart of everything that I do. It's a very strong focus, and just making people feel safe and welcomed. So people have ended up doing work together or collaborating on something, or, you know, that has definitely happened, and it has that networking benefit. But I call it not networking, because it's not come and spruik your stuff and give out your business cards and all that.
Because I have a real aversion to the word networking, because I always end up with, you know, a million business cards and I don't even remember who the people are.
And you can be stuck in conversations, and it's hard to move on, or all that small talk for prolonged periods of time.
I know.
Which is why I make it, we talk about a topic, and then it's structured, you know, in this case it'll be breakout rooms for a certain period of time, talking about something in particular, and then at the end have an opportunity to just have a chat. But there's nothing worse than being stuck on the side of a room somewhere, and someone's chewing your ear off and you can't get away, and you don't, you know, you're talking about small talk you don't really care about.
That's right.
So I want people to get something out of it, take something away that they can implement immediately, and feel like it was a really great use of their time, and have met amazing women.
That's right. Yes. Also, when you say it's for everybody, is that like everybody who's an entrepreneur or a business owner, not just everyone?
Yes. So most of my things are business focused, because so entrepreneurs and small business owners, because that's who I tend to work with. But Expand the Group program is for that's open to women who are, you know, maybe they've got a side hustle, maybe they've you know, they're an employee, maybe they're in leadership, maybe they're a stay-at-home mum, anything like that. So that membership program that I was talking about, that's for anyone.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where it was for business owners. So that's a shift. The not networking and the retreat and the one-on-one coaching predominantly are for entrepreneurs and small business owners.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. It sounds so exciting.
Well, it is exciting, and I think that's where I've really tried to, I guess, get clear for myself what it is that I love doing. I think it can be a challenge in business, right? Because we're responsible for generating our own income and finding, and all of those sorts of things. And sometimes we can get into that trap of thinking, well, that's a good idea. That makes logical sense for me to offer that, or I could put that out there, and that seems like a good idea. But I've learned, if I'm not really passionate about doing something, kind of like, oh, I can't wait to share this.
Yes.
It doesn't really work because my energy isn't in it. So that's why everything that I do, I love running and I'm really passionate about, and that's what people are attracted to. I think that energy, because my heart is right in it, as opposed to, oh, this seems like a good idea and this is a good business model and so forth.
Yeah, that's right.
It just doesn't light me up. So.
Yeah, and that's where you get your lifestyle from as well. Like once you're passionate about something, you can put your energy into it, do everything amazingly well, and then you have your lifestyle that you want as well.
Yeah, and then you get really clear on what you're saying no to, what you're saying yes to, and why. So instead of kind of, I guess a challenge for a lot of my clients is we work a lot on boundaries, boundaries with themselves as well as with others, because we can easily cross our own boundaries as well and just say yes to all the things. But it's because they don't have that really strong sense of, well, they've just never learned it. I've got people in their 50s and 60s saying to me, I never learned how to set boundaries, and they feel a bit silly saying it. And I'm like, well, we just don't learn that really, unless someone is teaching you, and it's better that you learn now at whatever age that is.
Exactly.
Never. But it can make such a big difference to people, saving time, saving energy, all that mental chatter that goes on, the resentment that when you say yes and you didn't want to say yes. So people just start to get really clear on, okay, well, that doesn't align with what I want to do. So I'm going to say, thank you so much for thinking of me, but I don't have time for that right now, or whatever
that's
way
right.
they feel is okay for them to say no, not just a hard no.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. But all of this adds to your mental health. So there is no burnout at all.
100%.
You never know burnout. Sort of burnout sneaks up on you. You're going, yes. And then it's, oh my gosh, like I actually need to do this thing, but I've got 50,000 other things that I've said yes to. So,
Yes. And I think people that are sort of clawing their way through to the end of the year and just are like just desperate for that break, that's a really good indication that actually you're part of the way, if not all the way, to burnout. And how could you do it differently? Because you don't want your holidays to be all about just trying to get back up to sort of zero from down at minus 100 or something. You want to be able to enjoy them, and so I think that that taking care of ourselves in an ongoing way is so important. But really that comes down to the whole self-worth big topic, doesn't it? And feeling worthy of doing that. So that's I guess that's the real work.
Yes, exactly. And I think that's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
So Kylie, will you send me links to everything that you're doing next year, so people can click on the links and get straight to it?
For sure. And if anyone would just like to head to I'll send you my website as well, but if you subscribe to the newsletter, that you can get, there's a little pop-up that if you subscribe there, you get a whole heap of self-care tips. So if you're just looking for somewhere to start, which is in a whole range of different areas, not just your typical. So, being generous with ourselves and all sorts of different things, mindfulness. And so that's a really good, just easy one to have a read through if anyone's keen as well.
So tell us your website now.
Okay, so it's KMB, so KM for Mary, B for Bob, kmbcoaching.com.au.
Fantastic, because people might just finish watching this and not want to go to the link below. Just go, yes, I need Kylie now.
True. Yes, people might be out walking.
All right. Thanks so much, Kylie. Have a fabulous weekend.
Kate. It's been so lovely to chat with you.
It's been wonderful. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.